Okay.
I
Okay.
got
Awesome. So you guys are in for a treat. A lot of you came back because you have seen Dan in action before with us, you guys. I apologize that I'm in a place. We actually came out to our new office space and didn't realize it's like a dead zone and they aren't letting us use the Wi-Fi quite yet because the tenants haven't moved out for security. So I literally was like in a dungeon and couldn't get any internet or my hotspot. So lesson learned. We're going to get that figured out. And I just wanted to say so sorry for being a couple minutes late. I was trying to work on it. So we are, excuse me, we are going to be in for a real treat because we've got Dan here who loves to talk to us about how to get business, but not be so focused on, scripts, rather communication skills and learning how to find business, convert business, and we all need to level up these skills in the market upon us. I really keep saying, Dan, and I'm sure you believe this, that for many people, they haven't had to be as skill-based in the last few years. And we're really moving back into a skill-based market. And so I'm excited to have you because you are all about skills. And those on this call are always ready to level up their skills. So super excited to have you again today. We are recording, and so I'll get this on YouTube like always. Dan will get you a copy of it, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, we got 45 minutes or until 2:45 Eastern time. Is that correct?
Yep, you'll have about 50 minutes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm staying within the confines of the construct. Welcome, everybody. All right, so my name is Dan Rochon. I agents since 2007, and I help agents have no broke months. Today, I'm going to share with you the anti-script class and share with you how you can persuade effectively without memorizing scripts. Know what to say, even if you're new to sales, even if you're scared to make sales. This class will share with you communication frameworks that will allow for you to be more effective in your sales process. Who here would like to be more effective in their sales process, by the way?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Matt, good to see you. Matt's got both hands up. Candy says yes. Lonnie says yes. Excel, am I saying that right, Excel? Is that your name, Excel? Man, that's a cool name, dude. That's not a name like Dan or something. That's freaking awesome. All right, everybody with your videos off, I'm going to invite for you to turn your videos on. I mean, unless if you're driving or it's just inconvenient. I mean, if you're, please off, right? Like, because that would get awkward. Cari will get in trouble, all kinds of stuff. But hey, listen, your video on, that would be fantastic because when you have your video on, we're able to engage more effectively. We're able to learn better. And we're able to then take what we learn and put it into the field to be able to have no broke months. So if that's what you want, then please turn your videos on and please engage. Feel free to interrupt, interject, ask questions along the way. I like to teach in a manner that is all encompassing. So what are the challenges with using scripts? Often what I have observed when an instructor, whether that be your broker, your coach, a teacher, is teaching you the scripts, sales, often we get uncomfortable with that, right? Because it's like, that's not me. That doesn't sound like me. I'm not comfortable doing that. Is anybody, does that resonate with you? Do you feel that way as well, that sometimes maybe a script is a little bit unnatural for you? Lonnie says yes. Matt's, Candace, hello, Candace. Thank you for having your video on. Okay, so it seems as though consensus that sometimes we're to use scripts because they suck. That's not me. Well, I will challenge that piece, but before I do so, I'm just going to agree with that, right? Stay with me through this presentation because I'm going to share with you a viewpoint that I know you'll resonate with, that you'll become comfortable and confident to be able to use scripts. In the right place today, because if you, again, are looking to make more sales, I know that Cari does these presentations for you often, and you are definitely in the right place. And I'm going to ask for you to go ahead and shut off your other browsers. Go ahead and make certain that you are in a place that you can pay attention, because I'm going to give you some nuggets that are going to be really in depth. I'm going to give you instruction that's going to be, we're talking style. Okay. And so if you're not paying attention, it may go right. So communication. Definition of communication to start off our class. Communication, and this is the definition that they teach when you who here has ever taken any neuro-linguistic programming classes? Familiar with NLP?
Yes.
All right, a few of you have. So when you took class, you may recall that the definition in NLP was the psychologist and Binder, something. I'm forgetting the second guy's name. In the 1970s, developed neuro-linguistic programming. It got popularized Robbins because that's what he learned and he started to present. And what really NLP is the study of subjective experience. It's all fancy and stuff, but what the heck did I just say? Think about it this way. Objective, subjective. What's the difference between the two? Objective, sure.
Those are facts.
Yeah, fact. Subjective is an opinion. It's an opinion based off of experience, upbringing, values, and things that you've learned in the past. We all go through our lives in a subjective experience. There's, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 10. There's, including the AI, they're taking notes that are here on the Zoom room. I don't know if that's on Facebook or Workplace, but if we are, hello Workplace, hello Facebook. But every one of us, so the 15 or so different people that are here are going to leave this presentation today different understanding of what I said, including myself. Would you guys all agree to believe we'll go in different directions? It's like, yeah, he said that. Great. Oh, that sucked. Oh, what the heck did I, no one's going to say, why did I waste my time? You're all going to be like, man, that was the best freaking thing I've ever learned in my entire, oh my God, why didn't I go to this class earlier? All right. So we're all going to leave in different places, but that's because of our subjective experience. And it's easy for us to recognize what the challenge is in sales and persuasion and in communication. We often are not focused on it in real time. Meaning, you go and meet with a buyer. You're just your actions of whatever you're doing. A buyer that was referred to you from another agent, or you're talking to was referred friend, or be. And seldom do we approach that communication in the that we're experiencing, that they're experiencing that communication based off of their experience, their upbringing, their values, their education, and their world. Okay, so that's I'm to give you a little bit of a preview of coming a track, a little bit deeper into that here in a few minutes. So going back to NLP, it's the study of subjective experience. So objective, subjective. So subjective of opinion. So, and it's a study of how can we communicate in a way that we understand that we're coming from different viewpoints. NLP is also the study of excellence. So these are the if you were to look up what is NLP, you're going to find some of these definitions. So it's a study of excellence, and it's the study of subjective experience. Now, I started to share with you what is communication. The definition in neuro-linguistic programming of communication is the response that you get. Write that down if you're taking notes. Communication is the response that you get. Now, when you accept that, you will immediately, instantaneously improve your level of communication, because it becomes very, very hard. Say I'm in multiple negotiations right now, and I'll be candid with you. Cari said about, we need skill. Oh my goodness. Taking all the skill that you can possibly imagine right now. And mostly that skill is to be able to guide the other agents on the other side of some transactions right now to understand that, hey, we're in this for a win-win. We're not adversaries. We're here to work together to protect for our clients, yet to a win for all parties. Okay. And I'm really having to use that skill for the first time in many years. So communication is the response that you get. It's really hard when you accept that for you to be like, for example, that I was just sharing with you where I'm negotiating. And let's say I have an agent, the agent's sort of assertive, the agent's sort of a butthead, for the lack of a better term. I'm not labeling them. Let's say that that's what you would perceive though. Really, it probably wouldn't be butthead. It'd probably be something more, something that Cari will hit me over the top of the head if I share the real word with you right now. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So for you to walk away from a communication, say that guy was a jerk, when you accept the fact that communication is the response that you get. It forces you to put ultimate responsibility into your communication. Now, if you have a communication, let's say with an agent, and they come to be, instead of saying, man, that guy's a jerk, you could choose to say, oh my goodness, I just got a response I didn't want to get. Who could I be? What could I do to get a different response? So instead of making it, you're accepting the responsibility and you're adjusting the way that you're approaching the communication. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You
that's
guys all good
awesome.
with that?
Dan, that's amazing. It's always a reminder that we only have control over one thing, and that's how we respond and what we do. We can't control what anybody else does directly. However, how we're being typically does get a different response. So indirectly, the control we have over ourselves does impact our relationships and our communication and our negotiation and our conversion. So that's a fantastic reminder.
Thank you, Cari. So when we accept that communication is the response that you get, you will automatically get better results. And you'll feel better too, because nobody wants to feel bad about another human being. Thinking, who could I be? What could I do? And then you start acting with different actions. So now that we know and we understand what communication is, a model of communication for you to implement. And again, I hope that you're taking note. I'm going to give you a 3-step model. So this is a 3-step model that you can instantaneously gain connection with another human being and communicate at the highest level. So we call this the CPI communication model. CPI is the name of my coaching company, Consistent Predictable Income. So the CPI communication model is as follows. Number 1, be in rapport. I'm going to talk about each of these points here in a few moments. Number 2, ask adept questions. Number 3, actively listen. Be in rapport, actively listen. Hey, there's Les. Thank you, Les. Now, what is rapport? So what do you guys think? Yell it out. Or what do you guys think? What is rapport?
At ease with conversation, going back, feels very kind of casual. They're engaged and you're engaged.
Fantastic. That is a demonstration of rapport. Okay. And it's fantastic. At ease with the conversation, engaging, you're going back, and that is a result of rapport. What is rapport?
I feel like it's trust.
Trust is an outcome of rapport. From Jennifer is an outcome of rapport. Let me give you what rapport is. Rapport is a connection. What is it a connectivity of? So rapport is a connectivity. What is connected?
Common interest, maybe, or characteristics, styles, maybe.
Characteristic styles. I'm looking for something specific. What is it a connection of?
The relationship.
The relationship, who
Energy, two people's energies.
energy. Okay. Connection of energy. Correct. It's a connectivity, it's a connection of energy. So now let me give you like a little bit of a further explanation for you so you can understand a little bit more of what, you know, physical beings, right? When you look at me and Rochon, when you're perceiving this bald-headed dude with these glasses and these headphones on, right? Good looking guy though, right? I mean, come on. And I'm just, all right. So we perceive each other, we're just looking at them as a person, right? And we look at that, like I'm looking at Matt, that is Matt. But that's not quite true. Because within that shell of Matt and Lonnie and Excel and Dan, Sarah and Candace, within that shell resides a spirit. The shell is just a capsule, a physical manifestation of your spirit. They are. So when we understand that our side, you know, that's a part of it, of what we look at each other, but it's more of an is within ourselves. Now that's really vital for us, because when we understand that and we're looking at rapport and we say, well, what is rapport? Connection? So now if you can envision yourself as a spiritual being and you can envision me as a spiritual being, then when we're in rapport, our spirits are connecting. The energy is connecting. I hope I'm not freaking anybody. This is actually science, by the way. So rapport is the connection of energy. How do you know when you're in rapport? Rapport is a connection of energy when we're in rapport.
So then if you're resonating and vibrating the mutual energy, I think back and forth, I think you can kind of feel that probably too. It's not just hear it, but feel it. Yeah.
Feel it right there. Matt, man, you freaking nailed it. Okay. And that comes from that resonation. That comes from that connection. When you're in rapport, you can feel. In rapport, right? I can give you all the hacks. I can say, look for commonalities, mimic their rate of speech, their tonality, their inflect. And not all works. It works to gain rapport quick. But what works is simply paying attention to your energy and paying attention to your feeling. Then simultaneously paying attention to the other person. And when you feel connected, that is a feeling that your body's resonating with the energy of the other person. I had a friend stay at our house. Her and her husband, they live about 2 hours away from us. And she was going to a conference. And I was studying at the time. And she's a good friend of mine. So I had her permission. Didn't know in the moment that we were doing this exercise, and one of the exercises that I was assigned to do that evening with somebody. It was perfect because we had a house guest, and it was somebody that I wasn't related to, that doesn't know me as well as somebody that I see every day. And what the exercise was to dance, and it wasn't literally dancing, but to dance with the energy. And it was so amazing because I was paying attention to the energy, paying attention to my feeling. And I was also mirroring her movements. She was standing up in my kitchen upstairs, about 10, 15 feet away from me. We're talking, standing up. My family's up there, and we're just connected with each other. And I cross my legs. She uncrosses across my. I notice after about a few minutes of me mimicking her body language and paying attention to her, and then I started leading where I would cross my arms and she would cross her arms. It was the most amazing thing that I've ever experienced. Communication. I was like, holy goodness. Right? She was literally following my body movements. If I went like that, she would go like that. It was for me, that took a high level, an extraordinary level of paying attention to the energy. So you can be able to connect with somebody at that level. Now, if she was a sales prospect, a seller or a buyer, and I was entertaining that same exercise, how effective do you think she would follow my lead? All right. I'm going deep on a lot of this stuff today. So I'll show you where you can get more of this education later. But I'm just giving you teasers today. Okay. Not because I want to tease, but because that's all that I have time for. So let's go back to the model. Number one is to be in rapport. Rapport is the connection of energy. You know that you have energy when you can feel it. Now, number two, depth questions. So remember, we wrote that down when we started. Ask adept questions. What is an adept question? An adept question is designed to guide another in a direction they want to go in. Now listen to the way I just communicated that. Has ever had a buyer hire them before, and then that buyer changed their mind? Has that ever happened? If it hasn't happened to you, it's often that occurs. And let's be real, what causes that to happen, by the way? It's rarely circumstance. Sometimes it is, but rarely. Normally it's, I got scared. Okay? Like, let's just be real here. So again, we go back to asking adept questions, and I say that are going to persuade somebody to go in the direction that they want to go in. Nobody's ever hired me as an agent to help them buy a home that they didn't want to buy a home. I understand it is my ultimate responsibility, my fiduciary responsibility, skilled at guiding people to get past that emotion, to do what they what they hired me to do. If no one's ever told a buyer or a seller hires you, the biggest challenge that you have clients' emotions. Taking classes like this will be important for you. So ask adept questions. And then number three to the CPI communication model is to actively listen. Now, I'm going to ask you a question here in a second, which I've already given you the answer to. And I'll keep giving you hints to it. What are you actively to or for? What are you at? I'm taking bets. I'm betting on one and eventually get this answer. What are listening to and listening for?
Don't be shy, you guys.
Emotional intelligence.
I would say that connection, if you're doing that right, then they like and trust you right after they have that rapport. So
It's like I'm looking at the screens here on the Zoom call, and it's almost like a roulette table. I was gonna put my black chip right on your face right there. I was gonna say, I'm betting on Matt. I think he's gonna get this answer.
I don't want to monopolize it, so I'll reserve.
I wasn't betting against anybody else. I was just betting on you, man. I'm betting on all of you. So, act to pay attention to the energy. You may have been in a class in the past where you've heard about actively listening and skills, actively as repeating back the last few words of what they say, such as, again, mimicking their body language. And all that is ways that you can display active listening. But what is that you're paying attention to their energy. Has anybody ever been in paraphrasing? Absolutely. Has anybody ever been in a situation you got a yes from somebody, but it wasn't a yes? Like, hey, do you want to write an offer that gets accepted? Yeah. When that happens and you're paying attention to the energy, I'm going to give you a hack. Here's the call it 100% of the time. What do I mean by calling it? When you hear that, yeah, or you hear that energy that's not committed, that the words don't match to the energy, say, I hear you saying yes, but I'm not sure if you're saying yes. Are you saying yes? That's almost like a Dr. Seuss phrase right there, I think, right? If you actually, like, if I wrote that out, okay? So call it. Because what will happen is you'll hesitate, and then you'll get their true answer, which isn't a yes in that case. And position to be able to guide them to, again, what they want to have happen, which is for you to guide them past their emotions to get to that finish line of what it is that they hired you to do. Now, if you get a hesitant yes, and you say, I heard you saying a yes, but I didn't hear you say a yes, was that a yes? And if they say yes, and is that a yes script? I remember I was talking presentations before, so I know Cari knows who this is. That's a Floyd Wickman script. Most of you probably don't know who Floyd is. But Floyd Wickman, that's an old school coach, would teach an is that a yes script. And here's the is that a yes script. Would you play along with me? Or here to volunteer to play along with me, to role play with me?
Yeah, do you want me to? Yes.
Go ahead, Cari.
Okay,
Go ahead,
I didn't
Cari.
know you were asking.
All right. So Cari, you're going to give me a hesitant yes, okay?
Okay.
And then you'll follow along with me for a yes. So Cari, is it I hope that I gave you value in this presentation today. Would you like for me to present for your group maybe in the future?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I hear that you're saying yeah. I hear that you're saying yeah. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, it's yes.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. But for real, Cari.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure.
See, can you observe her energy? Can you observe her? So what's happening to her energy is it's like, dude, are you not freaking listening to me? Yes. You freaking idiot.
It actually makes
Right?
it actually makes you feel like every time it's a true thing. When you say yes again and again and again, you actually become more confident in the answer, even if nothing else has changed but the fact that you've said it multiple times. It's very fascinating.
Yeah. Now guess who owns that yes? The other person. The person who came from hesitant, such as, do you want to write an offer that gets accepted? Yeah. Is that a yes? Yes. Yeah, I'm sure. Aren't you listening to me? Now they own it. Now they're where they want to be, rather than letting their emotions get in the way of buying a home. Does that make sense to you guys? All right, so now let me give you some hacks. I'm going to give you some languaging patterns, because that's what I promised to do. Yes, that's funny, Joanne. Is that a yes, Joanne? Is that a yes?
She's yelling yes at you.
That's a yes.
That's funny. So let me give you guys some languaging patterns, right? So thus far is communication patterns. If you get nothing else from this conversation, because remember, I'm teaching you how to not use scripts, learning communication will position you in a place that you'll never have to rely on somebody else's languaging. Now, that being said, what most instructors, they're going to give you the scripts, and the scripts actually do work. What I'm going to do instead of giving you the scripts is I'm going to give you the frameworks of a few different scripts, so that now you understand how the languaging and the psychology goes together in a way that that will allow for you to be able to communicate effectively. So let me give you some sales frameworks. So the first one is going to be it's called complex equivalence. So don't worry about complex equivalence or not. That's what I really want you to get is just like the frameworks of these. So when you use a complex equivalence, what that does is it presumes that one statement is the same as another. Okay, so what you're doing is you're compounding two statements together. So here's an example of that. So Mr. Seller, I understand that you're looking to hire the very best agent, such as me, to be able to help you sell your house. You are looking for the best agent, right? Okay, so that was sort of a soft complex equivalence of, I'm taking the first part of it is that I know that you want to hire an agent like me, who's the best agent to help you. And then I put the second part of that, which is you do want the best agent, right? Those two statements, when you combine them together, when they say yes to the last piece, which is you want to hire the best agent, it also encompasses the entire phrase. Now, what I did at the end of that was I used what's called a tie down. Down is right, so the tie down is when you get agreement, and that agreement can be inside, it doesn't have to be verbal, that agreement is going to be a yes 99.9% of the time to whatever the statement is that you're tying down. So in this case, the statement that I'm tying down is you do want the best agent, right? Now, 99.9% of the time, who can say no to I want the best agent or the right agent? Okay, it's a 99.9% that yes, I want the best agent. So you tie it down with the right. Okay, and now you're getting agreement from them in their minds mostly. They could verbalize it. Sometimes they'll say yes. Almost always 99.9% of the time say yes on the inside. So now let's go back. Matt, I'll hit you up here in a second. So let's go back to the paying attention to the actively listening. So when you use a tie down, for example, you've got to take the time to make sure processes through the other person's head. Does that make sense? Yeah. I waited for you to say yes before I started talking again. You guys did say yes, right? So I could do this all day long. Matt, what you got?
I was just saying, yes, I did. But my question was, before the tie, what was your statement before the tie down? Before you said you do want to hire the best agent, right? Was it you want, Mr. Seller, I understand you want to hire me to be your agent?
You want it, yeah. So you're gonna, so that's the complex equivalent. So the first statement is what you want to happen. The
Okay,
second statement is the 99.9%.
okay.
Okay, so that could be something like this, Matt. So so certainly you're looking for, you know, a great agent like me to be able to house. I mean, you are looking for a great agent, right? So the first statement implies that I'm that great agent. In that, so there's all kinds of different things that I'm putting into there's like 2 sentences here, throwing all languaging techniques into just these 2 sentences. So in that first sentence, I used what's like me. Okay, so the like me is the embedded, your subconscious hears, then that's what your subconscious hears. Okay, so embedded commands, there's a Napoleon Hill book. I forget that it wasn't Think and Grow Rich, but it was another, it's on my phone, but he tells, I forget the name. So next time I teach this, I probably should know the name, but he tells about this story about the, in the early days, they did the study of the films. Okay, so when the films came out, they were these reels that went round and round and round, and they would project the light through the film. And what they did was a study where they put just one little snippet of Coca-Cola or popcorn in that film where you consciously can't see it. So it just sort of looks like you're moving, and somewhere in there Coca-Cola. Was that the sales of Coca-Cola increased whatever percentage, 30%, I'm making that number up, but it dramatically. That's an example of, yes, subliminal messaging of what an embedded command is. So what is that you're going to put statement pause after the statement is going to be what you want the other person to believe, and you're going to say it as though if you're talking to your dog. Sit, lie down, with that type of inflection. So we'll go back to the complex equivalence that I'm teaching you. So certainly you're looking for an agent, me, who can be able to handle parts of the transaction. Looking for a great agent, right? All right, so now we took just 2 statements and we unraveled those 2 statements, and I gave you 3 different languaging patterns that were all a part of those 2 statements. Equivalence, the second, where we tied everything together, is basically we just sort of put a package around everything. We got them to agree to us. We did so by doing the tie down. We used the embedded command to get them to like, because we want them to, and all within 2 sentences, we're able to subconsciously communicate with our prospect or the other person. Now, I want you guys to think about this the same way as if, sorry if my computer's freezing, that probably is my internet. But you know what, we could just say it's Cari's internet and she wouldn't know the difference, right? So we're gonna blame that.
Hey, you're actually not even freezing for me, so it might be bad.
See, Cari and I we're connected. Our internets are connected.
It could be, yeah.
So that all right. Sorry for my freezing. I hope that you guys got the gist of the present.
Yeah.
But those are the languaging skills. There's 72 other languaging patterns that I teach so obviously I don't have time to do more than what I just shared with you. But I do, if you've not attended the 5-day class where I'll teach you how to take listings. It's a free event, and I'm hosting Monday to Friday. It's online. It's noon to 1 Eastern time. Free event. You can go to www.5daylistingchallenge.com. That's the number 5 challenge.com, and I'll save you a seat, and you'll learn how to take listings and how I've taken 79 listings in the past 12 months.
Awesome.
Cari, thank you.
And if you look in the chat, also there's the information there, so you can click on that to get to the 5-day listing challenge. I would highly encourage you guys to do this because Dan has been here and he's actually done training on listings before, and it is fire. It is really good stuff. Dan, can you tell people a little bit about how many listings that you've taken and or take per year? Because I think there's some credibility there. You use all of what you've just taught in your interaction with clients on a daily basis, and you have tremendous success.
Yeah. a week, and I've done that. No broker 2008, average of 10 sales monthly since 2008. In the last 12 months, I've taken 79 listings. That's a typical year for me.
Nice.
So I am a coach, but I consider myself a real estate agent first, just so you guys know. Right? Like
Yeah.
I'm a real estate agent. Right. I just love helping people. So I'm like, you know what? Let me help other people do the same.
Yeah, which you're in the right environment for that, because as you found out, we just have so much collaboration here in EXP. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to have you back. Dan usually comes back every couple months for us here at EXP Family Tree. And
Sure?
he does.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure you're coming back. You are coming back. I'm telling you. And go to the website in the chat, you guys. Go check out the 5-day listing challenge. It's free. I would encourage all of you, if you're looking to take more listings, to go to that. Thank you, Dan, for being here. I really appreciate you.
See you guys. You're welcome.
It was
Thanks,
awesome.
everybody.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. You're welcome. See you guys.
Thank you, Cari.
Thanks, Matt. See you soon.
All right.